Ever wonder why there are so many children at school fidgeting? Do you know how long children are given for recess outside each day? I had a lot of these same questions this last year as my son attended first grade. And what I found out not only surprised me, but it baffled me as well. My son seems like he is constantly in motion, either with his body or with his voice. He wants to move. I understand that most 7-year-olds are like that, but he seems to have enough energy to power New York City for a year. This energy often got him in trouble, which made me wonder what his day was like at school. When I asked about his recess time, both his teacher and his vice principal said that he has the ability for a 10 to 15 minute recess. One recess that is shorter than the time it takes me to check out of the grocery store with 1 bag of bread and 1 gallon of milk. I want to tell you how our children can benefit from recess and encourage you to seek change for recess in the schools close to you. One of the best benefits that can come from recess is the ability to make friends. I remember recess as the time I spent playing with my friends. We would make up games, play on the swings, play with pogs before they were outlawed on school grounds, and sometimes, on days that were not so great, we would get into fights. These arguments only lasted a recess or two, then we'd make up and everything was honky-dory again. That is only a fraction of the social interaction that is possible for children at recess, and it is so very difficult to recreate in a classroom, if not impossible. Children are resilient and are quick to find a way to resolve their issues when given the opportunity and the time to do so. Another benefit is the opportunity for physical activity. In the last 10 years or so, children have been encouraged to spend between 30 and 16 minutes of physical activity outside. That is not part of the physical education offered through the school system. Now, let's break this down a little bit. Children are expected to be at school from 7:45 in the morning to 2:45 in the evening, or in the afternoon, which is a total of about 7 hours. Then they are expected to go home, complete assigned homework, eat dinner, spend time with family, brush their teeth, and go to bed, and then do it again the next day. I have a hard time seeing where an hour can fit into that kind of schedule easily and have the child still get enough sleep at night. Of course, there are families that enroll their children in soccer, basketball, swim teams, and the like. However, what about the rest of the kids? I don't expect the school to make my child be physically active throughout the day, or for an hour for that part. But one 10 to 15 minute recess that includes the time it takes to line up to go to recess and then line up again to go back to class is just not enough time. As part of giving the children more time to be physically active during recess, a side benefit of recess is that the children's vestibular system, or their inner ear and balancing system, can be tested. During recess, children can test their physical abilities through spinning, running, being upside down, etc. In doing this, the children are actually building not only their vestibular system or their balancing systems, but they're also building their core strength. Angela Hascom, a pediatric occupational therapist and the owner of the Timber Nook in New England, did a small test with a group of 5th graders, which she observed were tilting their chairs at extreme angles. Some were rocking their bodies back and forth. A few others were chewing on the ends of their pencils, and one child was hitting a water bottle against her forehead in a rhythmic pattern. This was not a special needs class. This is a normal 5th grade class at an art integrated charter school. After Hescom's testing, she learned that most of the children in the classroom had poor core strength and balance. In fact, they tested a few other classrooms and found that when compared to children from the 1980s, only 1 out of 12 children had normal balance and core strength. Only 1. I shared her sentiments exactly. Only 1. She went on to say, children are going to class with bodies that are less prepared to learn than ever before. With sensory systems not quite working right, they are asked to sit and pay attention. Children naturally start fidgeting in order to get the movement their bodies so desperately needs and is not getting enough of to turn their brain on. What happens when the children start fidgeting? We ask them to sit still and pay attention. Therefore, their brains go back to sleep. Well, it's any wonder that our children learn anything today. In conclusion, I want to reiterate the need for us as the parents and guardians of these little balls of fire. More recess time at school will help establish more social skills than any classroom can teach. More recess time will help children reach their goal of 30 to 60 minutes of physical activity outside. And more time for recess will actually help children learn better in school. Who knew? Please help our children have the best education that they can get. The best education that they deserve. Thank you.